Hello there, dear friends, and welcome once again to the Relaxed Fantasy Review. On this channel, we spend our time looking at fantasy of all sorts, from movies to books to video games, and applying the characters within into the tabletop game Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition. And today, we're going to be looking at a very popular character from one of the most famous fighting franchises in all the world, the Street Fighter poster boy, Ryu. Ryu is a adult male. He is got white skin, black hair, and black eyes, interestingly enough. He's about 5'9", weighs 180 pounds, and is about 35 years old in most of the Street Fighter canon. Now, Ryu is a martial artist first and foremost. He was trained most of his life by a martial arts master, and it should be no surprise to anyone that he's a monk. But he actually is a little more complex than that. He is a Sun Soul monk. I'll explain why here in a moment, but he also has one extra level, a level in Barbarian, which is a bit of a weird one, but we'll go over why in a moment. He is an urchin by background, considering that he was an orphan and grew up in a martial arts dojo, so he never really had a home. And he also is a wanderer now, doesn't really have a home still. His alignment is true neutral, as he spends a lot of his time fighting for good, but also has a lot of evil in his soul. He's a very, very true neutral kind of person. And he's a human. No big surprise there, no racial surprise. Now, as far as his stats go, I gave him a strength of 18. He is unhumanly strong, and although he's not a superhuman by any means, he is stronger than most people. I also gave him a dexterity of 18. Being a martial artist, he's very fast, and has actually been seen to dodge attacks that no normal person should be able to. We put a lot of that down to reflexes, and I give him an 18 in dex. And he's pretty tough. He's taken a lot of beatings in his time. I gave him a 16 for his constitution. He is kinda smart. He's had some education from his master, but he's not really book smart. I gave him a 12, since intelligence does have to do with fighting and the history of fighting, but not that much. He's not going to be writing any books anytime soon. But he is very good at analyzing people and finding their intentions. I gave him a 14 for his wisdom. And he doesn't talk much. He's not much one for charisma. I gave him a 10 on his charisma. His saving throws, since he's a monk, are strength and dexterity, that he's proficient in. He's also proficient in acrobatics, insight, perception, sleight of hand, and stealth. And thanks to one of his feats, he has expertise in athletics, since he is a fighter, first and foremost. He is physically quite strong. He has 91 hit points, an armor class of 16, thanks to his monk's unarmored defense, and a speed of 50. He's very, very fast. His languages, he speaks Common. He also speaks Abyssal, which comes in from his background. The reason he has that level in Barbarian is because he actually can tap in to the Satsui no Hado, which is an evil force that basically builds the rage in his life and allows him to tap into this dark energy to make him much stronger. But we'll talk about that when we talk about his features. He is technically proficient in shields. Not that he uses them. He is also proficient in all weapons, but he also doesn't use those. And he is proficient in disguise tools, thieves tools, and weaver's tools. I figured he should probably be able to fix his gi, when he is on the road so much. But his main feature is his monk features. He has an armor defense, as I mentioned earlier, giving him an armor class of 16. And as a level 11 monk, his martial arts power makes his unarmed strikes do a 1d8 of damage. He doesn't fight with weapons, he just fights with his fists, meaning that he can easily flurry of blows to hit people for a good 3d8 worth of punching and kicking damage every turn. He also has his key powers, Flurry of Blows, Patient Defense, and Step of the Wind, which allow him to use his key points, all 11 of them, to very, very great effect. His unarmored movement is what makes him so fast, but he's a Sun Soul monk. And what's Ryu so famous for? Throwing his signature Hadouken. Many people think it's a fireball, but it's actually an energy ball. And it allows him to use his unarmed strikes at range. They don't do more damage than a punch, but they do damage at range. He also has the deflect missiles power, which allows him to, block ranged attacks and even catch them if he's lucky enough. He can slow his fall, meaning that he is very good at surviving long falls. He does have extra attack. He also has Stunning Strike. Most monks get this, and all monks get it, and it's one of the most useful abilities in D&D. He has the Ki Empowered Strike, the Evasion ability, the Stillness of Mind, and the Purity of Body, making him incredibly good at meditation and using his ki to just make him that meditative monk that focuses on martial arts almost exclusively. He does get the Searing Arc Strike, which allows him to cast Burning Hands, which is really, really powerful, although I don't know whether Ryu would necessarily use it much. And the Searing Sunburst, which is kind of like his super Hadouken, the powerful Radiant Fireball. And then I gave him a few feats, being a human and being a level 12 character. He gets a couple. He gets the Grappler feat, which allows him to restrain and pin enemies, something he definitely can do. The Crusher feat. This allows him to hit enemies much harder with bludgeoning weapons, which, let's be honest, unarmed fists are not weapons, but I think it could easily be stretched that his punches are strong enough to be considered bludgeoning weapons. So I gave him this feat as well. The Skill Expert feats, which gave him his bonus in athletics. And then there's the reason he's a barbarian. When he does tap into the Satsui no Hado, he turns into Evil Ryu, which to me means he's barbarian raging, making him resistant to damage, doing a little bit of extra attacks on his turns, and just absolutely decimating enemies in a barbarian's rage. Not something Ryu likes to do, but in a pinch, he absolutely will. Overall, Ryu is a very skilled monk, and although he doesn't carry gear or treasures on him, he is one that you do not want to cross, especially when he uses his rage in order to make himself powerful. He is a nigh unstoppable dreadnought of powerful punches, key abilities, and radiant sun bolts. He is a force to be reckoned with. This has been the Relaxed Fantasy Review. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe down below, and keep your eyes open for more character reviews coming down the line soon. Have a good one, my friends.